Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Anthony. Listen, fam, I'm excited because you're rocking with us, and this could be your very first time ever clicking that button and checking out the show. So let me tell you about what we do. Each and every single week, we continue to bring you an inspiring person or a message that's truly going to help you, whether you're climbing that corporate ladder or perhaps you're somebody that's ready to start entrepreneurship, or you might even have a business and you're looking for those next steps. This is the show. But most importantly, this podcast has answered the question we have all asked ourselves at some point in our life, and that is, school's over, now what? Like, what do we do? How do we navigate? What's next for us in our life? And because of you, this show is completely blown up. And because of you, this show has had some of the most amazing guests, from Matthew Knowles to Ed Milet to Seth Godin, you name it. They've been on the show. But we've also do these unique messages where we sit one-on-one with me and we really dive behind certain topics, certain phrases, certain quotes, and how we can apply that to what we got going on in life. And today I am back with this solo episode because I stumbled across a quote that I wanted to really drive home with you in our SONW community. And that quote is this, and it comes from John Maxwell. And it goes, if you don't do the small things, you don't get the big things. I'll say it again. John Maxwell has a quote, if you don't do the small things, you don't get the big things. And I think right now in life, there are a lot of small things that you may not realize that you are doing that eventually will turn into some of your most biggest wins. So for example, when I was working in the corporate environment, right? And you guys know my story. I was a brand manager for companies like Target, Macy's, Belk. As I'm doing a lot of my day-to-day activities, there were a lot of reports that I paid attention to. I'm like, well, why am I paying attention to, how many items were sold, or what specific SKU was sold, or what our customer service score is, or, how fast are we getting orders to different customers? Why am I paying attention to those things? They were so small, but those small things added up to how we would perform. So they would add up to our overall quarterly sales. They would impact our bottom line. They would even impact whether or not a customer will come back to us. We think about those customer service scores, but there were small things that impacted a big result. There are a lot of small things that you're doing right now that will impact a big result for you. And those small things are things that you may not even be paying attention to. It might be waking up in the morning and putting more energy into your health and your fitness routine. Like, you might have started a new practice. You might be out here, running upstairs or perhaps taking nature walks. But that small thing is allowing for you to show up with more energy in your business, allowing for you to show up with a clearer head and a clearer idea of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Perhaps you're somebody right now and you have just made your very first hire, right? You just made your very first hire and you're trying to figure out, are they doing the right things, right? Pay attention to what they're doing in the very beginning of their shift. Right? Are they looking at how the previous day was and they're making sure that today they're moving you in a more north positive direction? These are the small things, but sometimes we come across small things and we look back and we're like, okay, that's why I did what I did. That's why, I made that call to this person, or this is why I asked for this help on this special project, because those small things will help us make a bigger impact. And they add up. And that's the reason why, if you look at sports, right, that's why every person on the team has a role to play. I said again, every person on the team has a role to play, no matter how small it is. But if we are playing the game of football, if you're watching right now, I'm not sure if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan or perhaps, you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, but these two teams are headed to the Super Bowl in Vegas. And it's the small things that will determine whether or not who's going to be the next Super Bowl champion. In fact, there were small things that happened in AFC and NFC championship games, whether it was to take a kick or go for it on the fourth down, that impacted who we're watching on Super Bowl Sunday, right? This is how the small things add up to the big things. And I do not want you to underestimate the value of the small things that you're doing, because they're going to lead to bigger results. So I want you to write down on a piece of paper right now 5 things that you have been doing over the last month, right? And granted, fam, it's February. So this is the first month that you've completed in 2024. What are those 5 things that you've been doing? then I want you to look on the other side of that paper and I want you to answer yes or no. Are these 5 things impacting your results? And if they are impacting your results, continue to do them. But also appreciate that they might look small, that they have such significant outcomes in helping us reach our bigger goals. But if you write down these 5 things, you're like, yo, look, Shawn fam, only 3 of those things really move the dial for me. Stop doing the other 2. This is the year where we look at every single thing that we're doing and we strive to go bigger. We strive to be better. We strive to have significant increase in our efforts. And I'm challenging you to do that because this is the year that you will make this happen. Fam, I hope you are writing this down. I hope you're looking at both sides of the paper and you're saying to yourself, oh, maybe doing this or maybe looking at that in the morning actually benefited how we looked at our overall week. And I want you to really be serious on this because a lot of times when we're looking at different things like this, we underestimate the importance. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. One of the small things that is a big thing that we're paying attention to is the guests that we're putting on this show, right? It won't be just anybody, right? So I'm excited for this year, the people that will help bring and impact you and give you new messages, new feels. And perhaps there might be some people in the past, right? We've been doing this show now in June this year. We'll make 6 years. There might be some people we bring back, right? And you're going to be able to understand and take away some of the small things they say that might lead to the next big aha moment for you, your business, or your career. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next week. And always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it.